Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Blueshirt Underground Show. Today is Wednesday, April 14th. Eddie, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it was weird. The thousands of people in this chat room could not hear anything, and I was hearing both the original theme plus your hola hola, the Game of Thrones kind of.
I had the audio for our video was supposed to be muted while the music played over it, and nobody heard anything. So I don't know what the hell happened.
And you're
you're
a little tin canny, like almost like you're getting a double of yourself in the mic. Is anybody picking that up, or it could just be me? I don't know. The audio it always works. The audio is like the trickiest thing with these services.
Is that any better?
It's a little bit better. I don't know how are you guys hearing him? Because it doesn't really matter how I hear my beloved, but it matters to you guys.
My beloved. All right. Well, can you guys? If everybody can hear me, okay? Am I still tinny? I tried changing my my microphone there.
They say you're all good, so
all good in the hood. We ready to go? All good.
I got to tell you, this show. What a show!
What a show! What a show! Sam, are you here? Sam, can you hear us? Sam,
dreidel,
are you there?
Dreidel.
Hello, Sam.
Made it up.
All right, fuck you and your dreidel.
All right,
good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Blueshirt Underground Show. It's Wednesday. It is April 14th. Eddie, today, 10 years ago tonight, we talked to the greatest hockey player who ever lived. That was 10 years ago tonight. Time flies.
Time flies. I mean, actually, I think it seems longer for some reason. The Blog Talk years were a lot of trudgery. It's just a lot of mishaps, but it seems
not like now.
I know, right? But at least we're on video. We're given a whole back then. It was a fledgling platform back 10 years ago, but it just seems so long ago. It does to me. Plus, I was still doing like a bit. I was doing the mouth voice, and it seems
it's amazing that with all the problems we had with Blog Talk Radio, that we actually were able to talk to Wayne Gretzky for 20 minutes without incident.
Yes. Now with the videos, and I can't see you, and you can't see him, and the whole thing.
Right.
You would figure with, especially with how Zoom technology has really, since the pandemic, is really you could do but you work with this stuff, and you can't have 3 people on. You could have 24 people boring you to death.
Right.
And talking about basically COVID, because that's the first thing people want to talk about. Hey, right. When did you get your test? Where did you get it? What kind did you get? It's like, all right, this is mundane. This is mundane talk. So, yeah. So, what happened? So we got it all straightened out. Jim had. Now, what was the purpose I'm getting for a new music intro just for tonight? Was because of the Rangers' glorious, magnificent.
I was. I just wanted to hear that music, and when I played it, while I was waiting for you to come into the studio, I played it over our intro video, and it looked and sounded good, because there's something about watching Costa freak out when he does this, when the music's and the chanting and the dun 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 dun, and there's Costa flipping out, and there's the Rangers scoring the big goal, and Martin St. Louis in our opening intro, and the music's playing, and that particular piece of music, which is Carmina Burana. First time I ever heard that was when they lowered the Stanley Cup at center ice at Madison Square Garden.
Wow. I frankly had no idea what that music was.
Yeah, that's the first time I ever heard that. They They played that while the cup dropped from center ice. Messier looking on. Pretty cool.
Just want to get a tip of the bald spot right here. My widow's peaks to Mario Morgado, who's here. This is a major, major appearance.
Wow.
Joking about CB radio. Breaker 19, Breaker 19.
You got your ears on?
Got your ears on? I think you were really into CB radio too much if you had a base station. That was when you had one like at home and you.
Yeah, there were some guys that had those base stations and.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's a lot of people remember that craze for like a year or 2 years, and after that, nobody had their ears on.
Well, that actually, CB's kind of made a comeback in the late '80s, which was when I started driving.
Oh, really?
A lot of people started getting them again. It was kind of like right before cell phones became available.
And
there were actually quite a few kids in my high school that had CBs in their cars, and
wow.
Yeah, I had one.
What was your handle?
Macho Man, baby.
Macho Man.
Macho Man.
See, we find out these things.
Right. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Rest in peace.
I don't think you ever had a.
That was the Macho
handle.
Man. My father, I remember when he had his CB radio when I was a kid, he was the Blockbuster.
The Block, that's a good name.
Yeah.
Macho Man.
I guess at the time. And I was the Block.
I don't know what the hell my nickname was. Probably the Mouth. The Mouth. What's your 20?
Your handle would be Brett Howden.
Oh. Just again, I get your point with I don't want to lay on a guy who plays 4 minutes a night, but nothing. All right. But there's no time for that. It's joyous. It's finally, and the Rangers win when we do a show.
Right.
Albeit this is an extended show of the Monday broadcast that went to Bowie. But hey, it wasn't pretty. It was kind of ugly at points, but they got the job done.
That's Ranger hockey.
That's Ranger hockey. It's never pretty.
It's rarely pretty. I'd rather win ugly than lose pretty. That's
right. And I gotta say, I've seen a lot of good things. I mean, from these young guys. I mean, this is we've said this before. We are in uncharted waters, and I think everything's going as planned. First half of the season, it was a little tenuous there, but I think we all know that. Oh, Jack L, the Ronkonkoma CVS on portion. There's two of them. But I think the one you're talking about might be over near the post office, or the one that's across from, it's like on the corner of Holbrook Road and Portion Road. So I don't know which one you're talking about. You should have called me. We could have met and gotten some pizza. But that's good. I'm glad you updated me on where you got. Well, which one did you get? Which one did you get? Well, I heard the other one has
hopefully not that Johnson and Johnson.
That Johnson and Johnson, the Artie Johnson and Johnson. Who came up with that vaccine? Artie Johnson. Give me another Johnson. Dwayne the Rock. Anyway, so yeah, good for you,
Howard Johnson's.
Howard Johnson.
Hojo's.
So yeah, man. I mean, I gotta tell you, right off the bat, you really don't have to. This Kravtsov looks infinitely better, and I'm sure this is because he's played with professionals over the KHL. Infinitely better than Kakko or Lafreniere. Not to say they're not playing well. I think both of them are playing well now. But I think initially...
Right. He looks a lot more NHL ready, right?
Right, yes. And he should be, I guess. I mean, he's played pro. He's played the Wolf, played in the A. What's going on here? Jack Johnson?
I already forgot he was a Ranger.
Oh, I couldn't wait to forget he was a Ranger.
The Jack Johnson vaccine.
Yes, the Jack Johnson. They don't have. Do they have any? I think they have a Howard Johnson still on Long Island. Not sure though. Have any in Pennsylvania? Howard Johnsons?
No, most of those got years ago. They got converted to IHOPs, I think. And there's a Howard Johnson's hotel left, I think, over in Jersey, not far from here, but not like it used to be.
Yeah, I know it's a staple of the past. You go on a road trip with your dad way back when. You're with the family. Oh, okay. I know where that is.
Used to go to Howard Johnson's on my birthday because it was the birthday club, and you got a free meal on your birthday, and that appealed to my father. That appealed to my father. So
we grew up with the same father as far as money went.
Right.
Now I wanted to say, they had something at the Howard Johnson's? What they had, like an orange drink or an orange creamsicle or something like that?
A sherbet, wasn't it?
Was it sherbet?
I think it was sherbet.
I think that was the first time I was exposed to sherbet way back when. The only thing I can tell you about that CVS on Holbrook Road, they had a guy who worked in the pharmacy. He had a scar on his forehead from like some kind of brain surgery. I always had to double check my medicine when I got home. Sorry. He's still working there. Salute.
And I'm not a crazy person, despite the brain injury.
There he is.
I late Frankie.
Working at CVS.
He's working in that big CVS in the sky. I got to tell you, this Kravtsov, I don't have to tell you. I'm telling you. I'm on the fucking mic.
Right.
I mean, I think all of us have seen it. Just you could see, and he's big too. I like that too. He
plays well on his own end. That's what I like. That's what I'm impressed with.
Yeah, because on this team, if you don't play, what do they call a 200-foot game?
That's right.
You're not going to play.
That's right.
Young David Quinn. I only say young because it reminds me of saying young David Cohn that Bob Murphy used to always say. Young David Quinn will not really take to you unless you can play both ends of the ice.
Got to learn to play the right way.
Don't these coaches cliches, each one we get, just it's part of the process?
Trust the process.
Oh, God, they get so nauseating. Can you ever just say anything? Wait a minute. Sean McCaff, that pharmacist had a gash on his head like rough. I got to tell you, man, that propaganda channel the Rangers have with fucking Sam telling me in the pregame show the Devils are a dangerous team. Dangerous. They don't have a fucking guy. They got Nico Hischier, who's got like a full cage on. He looks like a college player. He's just coming off the fucking Will Butcher. The team is a bunch of young stiffs. They're young. Just because you're young doesn't mean you're good.
Right.
And then when I found out that I'm sorry, I'm going off right away. But when I find out that Tage Thompson's brother is playing, Tice Thompson, what's wrong with these parents? Tice and Tage?
They get these fucking names. And their sister Tage.
You lose a bet? You got a fucking kid Tice?
Since we're right into the broadcast and we're talking about that, can I just say that the worst thing that has ever happened to the New York Ranger fan was when MSG bought the rights to the Islanders and the Devils, because now we act like this is all one big happy family. Yeah. Like we're all supposed to get along and have fun. It's a big no. I am ruled by my hatred when it comes to this sport. We're supposed to have fun, and there's nothing fun. This isn't war. This is war. Right.
I mean, don't they understand this?
What
are we going to acquire the Flyers and Comcast, and then we got to root for them, and everybody's one big happy family?
Yeah, I mean, they showed this thing the other night with they got the Ranger fan and the girl with the orange and blue lips.
Fuck her. Pig. Yeah.
That pregnant teen.
Soon to be pregnant. Or what she conceived there. We don't know.
Right.
No, you're right. And we share with the Sabres too.
Right. But
Remember
luckily
Steve-
nobody cares about them.
No, now we do. They're playing Boston, Jim.
Well,
Jim?
you know what I mean. Jim, you know what I mean. But yeah, all this. Oh, it's good to see Rangers and Islander fans going at it. No,
they don't like us. We hate them.
Right. We don't like each other. We don't want to like each other.
I meet a person if they are wearing. I don't know if I see somebody with an Islander hat or Islander jacket, I already think they're a lowlife.
Right.
I have no.
You just look at him and go, out of work, huh?
Yeah, like I mean, not even like they're total degenerates.
Right.
I mean, like I and they're always so young. I never see an older Islander fan. You never see like a grizzled, 55-year-old like.
Well, they were in jail by then. they've all been arrested in the prostitution stings by then.
Massage
child pornography stings.
Massage parlor scandals.
Right.
Yeah.
They were all been on Dateline by then.
Here's
is that one Gold Digger?
That guy. Even Islander fans like that loser.
Wasn't he a predator though?
Yeah, he grabbed some chick's ass or something in the parking lot. A lot of things go on in that parking lot.
Yeah, the parking lot's like Gomorrah.
You go there. You got to dodge the asbestos chunks falling from the ceiling.
It's hedonism.
That's why. First of all, they're not in New York. There's only one team in New York. It's the New York Rangers. They play at Madison Square Garden.
That's right, baby. It's the world's most quietest arena.
Oh, God. Right now, it's real quiet. All you can hear is the echo of Joe Micheletti saying fabulous every 30 seconds.
Oh,
somebody's got to put the Knicks on and get to him. And say, listen, you got to stop saying that Hollywood word. It's not a hockey word.
Right.
Hello, Frisco.
Andrew Conforte, 100%. I am shitting my pants that they might win the cup.
If they win, nobody's gonna care.
Right.
That's what I learned. Nobody's gonna. There's gonna be no parade. They're not gonna go down the They're gonna do the Hempstead Turnpike thing, right next to the Nubian Health Spa. I mean, that area is so bad.
How bad is it?
It makes Newark look like Beverly Hills. It's pretty bad down there. You guys know if you've been down downtown Hempstead. It's pretty bad. It's hard to size up these teams this year because of the division play. A lot of people saying our division is one of the tougher ones, but then I say to myself, well, Buffalo and the Devils suck. The Rangers, I guess, are a 500 team, so maybe...
If our division's so tough, why do we keep beating the first-place teams?
I don't know.
Right?
It does skew, I think, the evaluation on the guys that they have to play the same teams. I believe that it does hinder some of the progress these guys could be making because at this time of the season, you should have a read on every opposing player. You should be able to say, well, this guy, this is what he does, tendencies, they all, And I think that, yes, it's true. Caldor. Yes, that was a good one. Which used to be Woolworths, and then Caldor scooped them up. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So it's hard to gauge a lot of this stuff. I mean, you're trying to do the best you can. I mean, you don't get to play the Arizonas of the world. I mean, we didn't play them that many times, but just it's like the Maple Leafs, right? Like the Maple Leafs now believe they have all the pieces to win the Stanley Cup. And I think in the first round, they're going to be playing at Calgary, I think. I'm not sure. I mean, it's still hard to tell. Look up the standings for me. You don't know. It's tough to, I don't know. It's such a mishmash this season of it's just hard to evaluate. There you got the standings there. I mean, okay, let's say granted, and this is blasphemy, but say the Rangers did not make the Stanley Cup. I mean, make the playoffs. Well, I'm not writing them off. I'm just saying. Yeah, what's really the difference between Boston and Washington? There's not much difference there. I mean, there's 6 wins, of course, but talent-wise, I mean, the Caps, I'm not sold on their goaltending. The Islanders, if they get behind, it's tough for them to score. Pittsburgh, I'm not sold on their goaltending. The Bruins have injuries at goalie right now. And the Rangers actually have probably, Varlamov and Sorokin are good goalies. No doubt about it. Although I never thought that Varlamov would be as good, but he excels in that system that Trotz has. So I see enough of Pittsburgh where they look like gangbusters against the Rangers. The Jared McCanns and the Brian Russ. I feel like I'm constantly underrating those guys, and they keep putting up points. And then there's the dangerous Devils. Who are young now, the youngest team in the league. I can't believe there's a young team younger than us, Jim. I guess when they jettisoned
Palmieri,
Kyle Palmieri, and the great Travis Zajac, that now they've become the youngest.
I can't believe they held on to Subban.
Probably the contract. I would.
Maybe. I don't know.
He's probably getting paid way too much money. He's a guy I would figure would wind up on the Rangers somehow. The Rangers. And there was a little altercation, a little black on black crime as Keandre Miller and Subban went at it. There was a little bit of chirping and some stick swinging. That was a chippy game yesterday.
It was.
And I wouldn't figure it really, because these guys, I mean, there was a lot of new guys on the Islanders. Joey Biden had to buy some. Jeez, he's a little late. Oh, I love the people in this chat room. Every one of them dearly.
The president's here.
Yes, the president. Somehow I gotta think. I'm gonna say that Tony D'Angelo and Joe Biden are the same people.
Speaking of blithering idiots,
Jared Steinbeckens.
Oh God! But hey, listen, the Rangers put it together, and did you see what happened between the second and third period that has been different from any other game?
What was that?
David Quinn did not go in to talk to the players. It was Jacob Trouba, the much maligned
Captain Trouba.
Oh, boy.
All of a sudden, now, today, the fans are saying, make him captain.
What, he turned that game around, the 1-0 game they were winning, he turned that around by his...
much maligned. He gets a bad rap.
There's always a whipping boy. You know, on defense, there's always a whipping boy.
And it's usually the guy making the most money.
Yes. It's right for the cash.
Now the TDA's gone. They got to pick up somebody.
Well, if it's going to be Jacob Trouba, I don't want them. You're getting tired. Well, who do you want?
Oh,
Mr. President.
I had no idea he was just funny.
Yeah, he's also a big hockey fan.
I mean, except when he's falling down the steps of Air Force One. That's pretty funny.
Oh, yes. I mean, it's Chevy Chase every day.
Right.
Gerald Ford. So, wait a minute. Gus is now, of course, the money man.
Right. Right. God forbid anybody gets paid in this business.
Yes. Everybody's got to play for free.
Right. Gus just wants a team of candy stripers. Volunteers.
In more ways than one, Gus wants candy stripers. I'm Fucking filthy bastard. Joke.
So yeah, big 3-0 win last night. Igor gets his first NHL career shutout. Pavel Buchnevich scores the 20,000th goal in Ranger history.
How many they got against? 29,000?
We don't count those.
Well, listen. Yeah, I mean, it was something. This shirt.
It's Krampus.
It's Krampus. It says Slay on it, like almost like Slayer, but not.
It's his Christmas shirt.
It's my credit. It's one of those shirts. What's that commercial where the neck is all droopy? Does it been washed too much? Yeah, it's one of those shirts. I keep adjusting it. I think I'm just going to clothespin it in the back so it looks like it's real tight. Like I'm a reverend, the Reverend Ed Geik. But anywho, but I got to tell you, this Kravtsov, and I said this to my wife during the game. This team really, really loves each other. I really do believe that. You watch them come out. You watch them after a game. They're laughing, and they're playing. They're having a good time just being mediocre, which I don't know if it's good or bad.
Right. There you go. Matt B. Jacob Trouba is the only NHL player who's recorded 100 hits, 75 block shots, and 15 takeaways.
Whoa, that's some advanced stats
this season. Can't wait to run it. We can't run him out of town fast enough.
Yep. That's
Send him down fast.
I like that. Send him down fast. Well, Matt B. All right, I like that, Matt. Something to counter the naysayers. Yeah, look at Gus, dismissing the stats.
Right, good for him then.
You want to see the sexy goals and assists. He doesn't play the power play of the first unit. So what do you want?
That's longing for the days of Jeff Wojciechowski.
Oh God,
and the $100,000 defense.
Yes, is that his new thing now? He used to have the Magna Costa. And what are we going to call this one now? We got to somebody come up with his new budget rent a car fucking defenseman.
Like Rocky Balboa said, you want to dance, you got to pay the band.
All right. Oh, Chef Fry, you're getting me a little bit aroused with that statement. Roughly 28 million. Joey Biden once again.
He's off the teleprompter, folks.
Yeah, I think he's gone off.
He's off his notes.
Like he could read the teleprompter. That's true, Chef Ra. This guy annoys me with not hitting the fucking net. True, but those stats.
Second on the team in defense for shots on goal.
That's true.
He's hitting the net occasionally. He's getting there sometimes.
Well, listen. There's the good, the bad. You can't have everybody playing well. I mean, Keandre Miller, that hit that he gave that dude yesterday, I forgot who it was. The guy hit him, and he hit him back, and he fucking laid him out.
How about Kravtsov getting laid out yesterday and then getting up and making a play right away?
Yeah. He didn't sit on the ice and uncover his head and that whole shtick. Well, he's
right back up and made the play. That's what we want.
Yeah. He's a big kid, man. I mean, you look at these guys, they look like guys who bag your groceries at the fucking I mean, they're so young. Oh God. They wouldn't even know where they were. They're like, it's great being here at the football game. I don't know. All right. Matthew was saying the salary cap is ridiculously too low. It's killing this league. Take the excitement of the trade deadline and free agent frenzy. What do you think about that, Jim?
Well, I mean, nobody's salary cap is going up in these pandemic times, right? Everybody's pretty much even. So
Well,
have to deal with it.
the deadline was a total dud.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I did actually watch that video that you were going to show about the Gorton's fisherman. I mean, not Jeff.
Oh.
Jeff Gorton, Beady Eyes Jeff, talking about why they didn't make a move. And I think that was prudent.
I agree.
I mean, so
I agree. And we've got the great Zach Jones on the way, right?
Oh yeah, everybody's loving this acquisition, and then
hasn't played a shift yet. Everybody loves him.
Yeah, well, they always love the future until it's here. Then they're 5 games in, they're booing the guy.
Right. And then they miss the past.
Then they miss the pass, or the coach isn't giving them 20 minutes of playing time right away. You got nine prospects, 9 young guys in this league, and they all got to play 20 minutes. I don't know how it works.
Right.
This coach is horrible. This coach is terrible.
Right.
That's the world we live in now, where we just blame the coaches.
Rangers just keep quinning.
Yes, that's true. I mean, it is kind of, how long are they into this rebuild? Like 3 years, 2.5 with this COVID. I don't know how many games we played since the rebuild. You could say 3 seasons, but is it really 3 seasons?
It's 3 years and 3 years, 2 months since the letter. I think the letter was February 18th, 2018.
I don't really think you could go any better for the Rangers. I mean, I don't know really. I don't have too much experience with a rebuild, but I'm enjoying watching. You have these teams that they used to throw out there. There was no future. And just to get into the playoffs, I feel like they're kind of building something here, which eases the pain of the brutal losses sometimes.
Right.
So, I mean, you look at these teams that are getting pieces at like the Bruins, right? Like, they have a lot of good players, but I don't know where the young guys are coming.
Now he's picking up Brendan Smith.
Who? Biden?
No, Gus.
Brendan Smith, to me, is another one of those guys that after that contract year, when he got the big contract, I've said it several times, he was fucking an atrocity on ice.
Right.
I mean, he was just terrible. But after that, and actually, I remember when that year, I think it was that year, that was the last time I heard Sather chime in about anything. And he says, "Oh, what great shape. Look at him." And then he was fucking terrible. Maybe the key is Glenn Sather shouldn't comment on anybody.
Right.
Yes, it's true. Matt B is got a picture there with Ozzy, I believe. Either that or an Ozzy mannequin.
Madame Tussauds Ozzy statue there.
They have something up in Niagara Falls. They have one of those things that has an Ozzy one. I mean, you got Lindgren, you got Fox. I mean, you're gonna have Lundqvist,
Matt Robertson,
former backup to
Jets quarterback, Pat Ryan.
Matt Robinson was the backup to.
Oh, he was Richard Todd's backup.
Richard Todd's backup.
Or was he Ken O'Brien's backup?
Richard Todd.
Pat Ryan was Ken O'Brien's backup.
Yeah. And I remember it was like a quarterback duel at one point. First of all, can there really be? You did beat Ozzy. Nice. I enjoy Ozzy. You listen to that Ozzy. Oh, he's going in with Quinn. All right, Joey Biden. Wow. I got to tell you, the expletives are flying wild tonight. I expected you guys to be in a more joyous mood.
Everybody's in a bad mood tonight.
Yeah. So right now I'm in a very positive frame of mind.
I voted for Lindgren too, Mario. That was my vote.
Is the vote still? I asked this in the last show. We kind of cut off. Is this vote still open? Because I like to wait the last minute. Open. as Jim will refer to you, will tell you, I don't join this broadcast usually till 2 minutes to airtime. And Dr. Chris brings up a good point that now they're going to have some assets that they can trade, and I would love to see them get a veteran in here that can play, because to me, and I'm sure we got to get into some of the stuff that isn't going so right. That was just about to bring him up. Chris Kreider. What? They even mentioned it in the broadcast, so you know it's in the air now.
Right.
That crack research there finally caught up that he can't score for dozens of games.
Right. They finally figured it out.
Do we have any kind of theories? Is he just nothing upstairs? What is it?
It's between the ears, I'm telling you. I've been saying that for a long time. Just
Do you think it's time for an intervention?
he just drifts in and out.
Did you say, speaking of Cutter, just to get off the important subject of Chris Kreider, you see this video he made where he's drinking beer and stuff?
Yeah, this is his whole. It's a whole new character. It's a new character. You know, it's like who was it? Who's that wrestler? I can't think of it now. I can't think of it. Mick Foley, who had like 6 different personas. Right? There was Mankind, right?
Right.
And then there was like another one, and then there was I don't know.
He had like one. What was the Western one? Cactus Jack.
Right. So that's Cutter. He's got these. You know, he's trying to do a heel turn, and nobody cares. It's like the honky tonk man.
I don't know.
Yeah, he does these. He was doing these drunk videos the other night where he bashes the cans together. And,
I wish he would just do the finale at the beginning and get it over with. It's like it was always like 20 minutes of garbage.
Right.
Jack Ellis just said that he loves Cactus Jack. Dude loves, right? That's right. Was another one of his characters. I get it now. Yeah, I do. I do agree that he is somewhat of an enigma, Chris Kreider, as well as Cutter. But Chris Kreider, I just don't know it. Jim, I hate to bring it back years back. Now, did we? I guess Chris Kreider was around 2009. So when did we
interview him?
Yeah, like
2010, I believe it was.
And then when I asked him that question, or you asked him, I forget who did, and we asked Chris Kreider, don't you dream of being like a Ranger like every night? And he said, not so much. And I couldn't believe that answer.
Right. And then Ethan Werrick told us, yeah, I think about it every day.
Right. Where a guy who never made it to the NHL told us that he thought about playing for the New York Rangers every day. So, you know what, Rock,
Ethan
I would
Werrick
agree that
he was KHL now. I didn't know that.
Who?
Ethan Werrick.
Yeah. I'm friends with him on Spotify. I see his playlist. It's pretty fucking awful. I blame that on why he didn't make the NHL.
He's all grown up. He's
all right. Rock is saying he's money in the playoffs. Now, I remember him being very money early on. Do we have the wherewithal to punch up his stats and look at this?
Doing it now.
Considering the Rangers don't make the playoffs and are not looking to make the playoffs most of the years, why have him? Why have him? This guy's so frustrating. Why doesn't a coach get to him and say, listen, you're invisible out there?
All right. His first year in the playoffs when he was 20, he had 5 goals in 18 games. Next year, he had 1 goal in 8 games. The next year, he had 5 goals in 15 games. The next year, he had 7 goals in 19 games. then 2 goals in 5 games, 3 goals in 12 games, 1 goal in 3 games. So he has 24 goals in 80 career playoff games,
That's pretty good.
which is
1 out of 4. Every 4 games he gets a goal.
that sounds about right. Let me see. Let me do a little fast math here. 24 divided by 80. 0.3 goals per game. And what's his actual career goals per game?
Petey now chiming in. He stinks in the playoffs.
Wow. His career goals per game is actually exactly the same as his regular season. 0.3 goals per game.
Wow.
Exactly the same.
But those are more important games, higher quality opponents, but it still stays the same.
True.
Right. I don't know what. So I don't know. I mean, lately, it's been a while, but since they've been in the playoffs. But you're like, wow, at least we got Chris Kreider. He's great in the playoffs. I've never said that to myself. Now, Panarin, the $81 million man. Let's talk about him and his achievements as a Ranger.
Most points in his first 100 games as a New York Ranger.
I mean, for a fan base, including myself, and I'm sure Jim, that has, I would obsessively worried about big talent coming to New York and failing. This guy has done the unthinkable. He's come to New York and done exactly, and even last year did more than we expected. And to me, that is like a miracle.
Right.
And he has a way. Oh, we're going to compare. Oh, all right, Rock wants us to compare Nash's stats to Kreider's. Please. Carol Vatney's playoff stats are better than Nash.
Rick Nash, 18 goals in 89 playoff games.
Money.
Yeah, not much of it.
$9 million. $9 million. Whatever he was getting paid.
By the way, I want to mention Artemi Panarin, most points scored in his first 100 games as a Ranger. And the other names on that list were Jaromir Jagr, Mark Messier, and Mike Rogers.
That's right.
And, Mike Rogers has to be one of the most overlooked players.
He is.
In Ranger history. You know how many times they show stats, like scoring stats or scoring streaks or trivia questions, and he's the answer, and he just never gets mentioned. I mean, he wasn't a Ranger. He was a Ranger for 4 or 5 years, but he had four pretty solid seasons for the Rangers, including a 100-point season, which is rare. That's rare Ranger territory. I never understood why I always liked Mike Rogers. He was
one of my favorite players. But
part of that Smurfs team that made a nice run with Herbie.
Yeah, I mean, he was the kind of guy that really just never was on a winner. He was a longtime Whaler, and then he came to the Rangers. But you're right. People don't really talk about him. You'll hear more stuff about like Kelly Kissio, who was the captain, but John Ogrodnik or Brian Mullen or one of those guys, than you'll ever hear about Mike Rogers. And look where he is. There's 4 Hall of Fame. Was it 4 Hall of Famers? Panarin's not in the Hall of Fame yet, but
right. Mike Rogers between the NHL and WHA had 347 goals, 539 assists, which puts him at over 878 points for his career. Pretty nice career.
He did. Well, we should try to get him on the show.
Okay.
Well, I'll even try to get him. Is he on?
He could be the next one to turn us down.
Oh, please. That's because they all have these shows with the pandemic. They're not golfing or whatever they do, these people.
Mike Rogers was a New England Whaler.
Wow, I didn't know that. The World
And he was-
Hockey Association.
And he was an Edmonton Oiler before that.
I did not know that. Oh,
Scored 30 goals. Scored 30 goals with the Edmonton Oilers of the WHA at the age of 20. Then scored 44 goals in Hartford after they came to the NHL. That was a bad team too, if I remember correctly.
But bad.
Then 103 points with the Rangers. I mean, the guy had a really nice career, and he just never gets mentioned.
Yeah, what year did he retire? And where did he retire?
Finished his career with Edmonton. The Rangers traded him for, I want to say, no, I can't remember now. Traded to Edmonton for Larry Melnick and Todd Struby. That had to be an Espo trade.
Yeah, I remember Larry
That had to be an Espo trade.
Larry Melnick was a tough customer. He's strictly
Traded to Edmonton by New York Rangers.
Larry Melnick.
And that was pretty much the end for Mike Rogers. He retired at 31.
That's real young, man.
It is.
I wonder if it was an injury. See, if we get Mike Rogers, we can get to the bottom of why Mike Rogers, unheralded New York Ranger.
Right.
But when you don't win, you get kind of lost.
I guess so.
Yeah. So, what else did I have to talk about this game? I like the chippiness. I thought that Pavel Buchnevich to me has really made so many strides that I never thought he was going to be this player that he's become. I really thought he was going to be more of a, how am I going to say? Well, first of all, the attitude. I mean, Mr. Grumpy Cat, Mr. Happy, Captain Happy. He seems to be a very lighthearted guy now. He smiles, he's making jokes, monkey off the back, doing all this. And he's become such a complete player. What a great season he's had statistically, as well as the growth that now he's killing penalties. I thought this was going to be a big concern for the Rangers to kill penalties this year. Meanwhile, they've been in the top 10, whatever, for most of the season or higher. They've been a lot, I think they've been third at one point. I don't know where they are now, maybe fifth or something.
Does Quinn get any credit for that?
I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you one. Well, before I get to that, I will tell you one thing. Buchnevich is one of the few Rangers other than probably Panarin or Fox, that I trust when they're trying to gain the zone. Like, he takes the puck over the blue line and he does something positive with it. And I really, when he carries the puck into the zone, I'm confident he's going to get it in the zone and make a play. Not few, and a few Rangers that can really do that, quite frankly. Is it the coach? Why not? People don't they don't want to give the coach accolades. I mean, there is a division amongst Ranger fans if David Quinn is the guy. I think he's the guy for right now. I don't think he's the guy for when this all gets settled, but I think he should. Buchnevich's play, he has improved as an all-around player and maintained his scoring and his playmaking ability. So why not? Let's give it to Quinn and Buchnevich. I think it helps also, Jim, that the Rangers have a lot of Russian players on the team. Even Kravtsov alluded to this, that since there are some Russians out there, I like Kravtsov. This is another thing. Kravtsov comes like straight from a flight from the KHL or whatever. He speaks great English. Panarin, it's like $81 million. I don't want to learn English. He needs an interpreter. What is going on here? Sorry, my little gripe. Sorry, $81 million man. As long as you have the puck in that, I don't care what language you score. Say, speak. Thank you.
While you were talking, I just found contact information for
Mike Rogers?
Mike Rogers. Yes.
Oh, if we could get Mike Rogers, that'd be the greatest get in the last week.
Yeah, we could try.
Yeah, why not? I don't know if half these people know who Mike Rogers is, but they'll find out. You know me, I'll get an interview and I'll talk about him. What did you think about Kotze?
Kotze. All right, you want to talk to Matt Morello? He's got a story for us, apparently.
All right, let's hear the great Matt Morello.
And we've got Costa waiting too, of course.
Let's
talk to Matt first. What's up, Matt?
What's up, guys?
How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you, Ed? Jim?
I'm doing very well. I'm flying high after the first of 4 victories that the Rangers are going to get from the Devils.
If they don't go 4 for 4,
you're not worried about the dangerous Devils?
Nah. I 100% agree with you. And Jim, the worst thing that ever happened was the Islanders and the Devils becoming like that one big conglomerate for that broadcast. Because again, like Jim has a point. They make it like, oh, everything's all fine and dandy. Like
it's on your head.
Thanks.
Sorry, I had to bring them down. Go ahead, Matt.
But I agree with you guys completely. The fact that they're all in the same network like that, and you got Rosen making it all chummy with Danico and Kanji, and then whoever the hell does the Islander games now. I don't remember the names, but
Brett Summers and Charles Nelson Riley.
Right.
Brett Summers.
Yeah, but you listen to their broadcast. They're not cutting the Rangers any slack. You got
no.
This is what I got froze last time. You got the goring like somebody shot his best friend. With the post-mortem of how the Islanders got robbed by the Rangers. They hate the Rangers. Danico is a little bit more. He's got to deal with those guys a lot. He's hanging out with.
But you know what's funny? When I talked to an Islander fan a few days ago, and this is one of the few that's not like an absolute inbred, I asked him about Micheletti because obviously he was the color guy for them, 20 years ago or before he came here. He actually said that the Islander fans used to think of him as a Ranger homer when he was with them. So he must have this whole image of him not wanting to be considered a homer for the team he roots for. And he tries to come off as a neutral guy.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. For some odd reason, I always felt he did better on the NBC broadcast or whatever, the national broadcast, than he did with the Rangers. When he did the Olympics, he was much better. I don't know what it is.
Well, he did NBC games that were Ranger games, I guess, on that Sunday night hockey thing. I think maybe it was with Kenny Albert. It was with somebody else. And he seemed way more loose, way more relaxed. There has to be something with MSG, whether it's the whole Marv Albert syndrome or you can't criticize the team or else they're worried they're going to get fired or something like that. But you have a point. He was way more relaxed.
Yeah, I also think him and Sam have zero chemistry. It's it just gets just gives me the vibe of being such a stuffed shirt.
When they're not talking about Steely Dan.
So forced. It's true. They're terrible. They can't even joke.
It's two guys with the personality of a wet rag.
I think Joe has a personality deep down, but he can't take it to where Sam can't be comfortable with it. Sam's like, oh, they're going to get rid of me. They're taking down my plaque at the Hall of Fame. Joe, we can't go that far, big boy.
in the Foster Brooks wing, or whatever it is. He won that Foster Brooks award.
Oh yeah, the Foster Hewitt, the Hewitt Packard Award. Yeah, I mean the broadcast. I think most people, the people that are delusional that think I love my Sam and Joe, those people should be.
Do they say Joe though, or are they saying Sam?
Yeah, you're right. They don't say Joe; they say Sam. Because Sam's like an institution. Make your joke.
Nobody is sitting there saying, "Oh, they can't wait for the Joe Micheletti insight."
Yeah, his Taco Bell take.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's when I go to the
And his
bathroom and do my own Taco Bell take.
Nobody's. Yeah. Like that's just not happening.
How about this new banter they got with the pick'em contest with the Valley is wrong. Him and John they're 0 for 2 now, picking the first goals. What is that shit anyway? Could somebody tell me what that pick'em bullshit is?
It's just a gambling thing. I'm sure it's something with DraftKings or whatever.
But it's free and it's like a progressive thing. Like, why do I got to play a game while I'm watching a game? That's ridiculous.
It's just to get you
It's
involved.
always something with them.
And you know what? I find myself, they're like, this power play is sponsored by what? I go, no, it's not. Those guys aren't on the ice. I refuse to be sponsored by that. Everything's got a sponsorship. Everything is some corporate name in it. Does anybody give a shit? Do you really say I'm getting a Mercedes-Benz because of the fucking thing that the power play is fucking no.
Remember the Foxwoods Final Five?
I was just gonna say the Foxwoods Final Five that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
That went on for a while. That was what, like 4 or 5 years?
What was the Papa John's thing too, right?
That didn't last long.
3 goals.
I think Rocco Sansone is still mourning that. He used to count that every fucking game, right?
Yeah.
Where is Rocco? Did he finally get locked up?
He was in the recap last night.
He was?
Yeah,
I haven't seen him.
He's among the elite.
I thought he'd been sent away.
No. Rocco's still going, still kicking.
Okay. All right. God bless. And no one gives a shit about that.
No. Well, speaking of them on that stupid network, you brought up that woman with the girl with the stupid pink, orange and blue lipstick.
Yeah, the hooker.
Well, I've had the mispleasure of seeing that thing in person. All I'm gonna say.
How much?
Wouldn't take much.
What are you gonna say?
So first of all, part of the controversy was she made fun of Igor and Buchnevich when they got in the car accident last season. So Ranger Twitter, there's hope for this fan base, went after Giannone and MSG Networks for putting her on the air for doing all that. And of course they did nothing about it. But I went, all right, cool. At least for once the Ranger fan base is rallying around a decent thing to do. She is an annoying little, I'm not going to say the word I want to.
Bitch.
No, I was going to go worse, but all right, sure. I'll go along with that one.
What?
She's one of those, she walks around with, I don't think it was Potvin, but one of the guys in the 80s holding up the cup, and then in the other hand has like the middle finger up. She's one of these, like the Islanders are the greatest thing ever. The Rangers are, again, another one of those. The Rangers' hatred is stronger than rooting for her own team. Yeah. Yeah,
Are you ready to admit on this show that you had a thing with her?
No,
I mean,
he would never have a.
You banged her, didn't you? Go ahead. You can say it.
Go ahead.
Did you see what the guy? Did you see what the guy looks like in that video?
You got really drunk. Right?
I was like Cutter on the Rutabaga.
It would take him several thousand Rutabaga beers to that happen.
Oh God!
I've met Matt in person. I know he has taste.
Thank you, but yeah. Which, if the best was
I have to admit, I have no idea what this video entails.
If Jim goes on the MSG Network's Twitter page, there's the video of Giannone interviewing, which is so douche
Why
chill
is he
inducing.
interviewing these fucking idiots?
That's the point everybody was trying to make. Why was this being done?
Oh, okay. All right. I get it.
And then why were they doing it after she made it so public that she was making fun of Buchnevich and Igor when they got in the car accident?
Yeah.
She was in the John Tavares video when the Islander fans were in the Mausoleum parking lot crying about him leaving.
Oh, God.
This one, she was in it.
She was in that "We Don't Need You" video.
Yeah, well, she was crying while she was reading her line out as if they did.
The black-hearted crow knows my area way too well, which kind of scares me for him. The fact that he knows where Parsnips is, which is the worst bar in the world, and that he knows Phoenix House, the drug rehab, which I'll be doing a live show from.
Yeah, we could do a viewing party from there.
Big party from Phoenix House. It's quite troubling, but I love the spirit. At least he knows what the stupid places are around me.
Now, Eddie, you want to know the big part of the video with this hooker and the guy? Yeah, here you go.
Oh God, what is he? 14?
Well, you want to know how sacrilegious he is?
How did this happen? How did this happen?
Wait, she's got a boyfriend that he has to put up with this shit?
Well, Eddie, he committed a sin.
I thought you said he committed suicide.
That's what I would have done.
The story goes, he asked her out to prom, and he put on an Islander jersey.
Oh, forget him.
You're like, get it. That guy's done.
Yep.
Put him in the ground.
We're not
Bury
one
him.
big happy family. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Like, I could never see myself wearing that piece of shit.
Ugh.
You never.
You mean the girl?
That too, yeah.
I was going to say something else, but she'd be wearing something else. You guys can do a little bukkake action. Anyway, you know what got me riled? I was okay. I wasn't gonna go there. Then you said when he wore that jersey to prom just to get her to go.
He wore it to ask her to go.
Like one of those. What do they call them? Prom.
Yeah.
So she was she's a high schooler, right?
She might even be younger than I am. I don't know, but and of course she wears that stupid jacket that has like the cup championships that were all won before she was alive. So she wasn't
before her parents were alive.
Well, you know what? I'm going to make a prediction now. She's going to be the next Joy Rosen, and if she gets knocked up or when, it's going to be in the parking lot of the Mausoleum.
That's right.
And then she'll be bragging about it with Shannon Hogan.
Oh God, and they have like a crypt keeper lady now too. They have another broad up there, as my friend Jim likes to use that word.
She was really slurring her S's the other night when they were having to share that feed when she was doing the in-between periods.
Where were you when Johnny Boychuk got shined? Fucking idiot.
Casey Cizikas.
Casey Cizikas. That's always a... Say that 1,000 times, Shannon.
Casey Cizikas.
She could be the Zamboni if she has to say that name.
I can't stand it. I can't stand that team, that fan base. I can't stand it. I just can't. There's no hatred like my hatred for the New York Islanders and their entire fan base.
They're just ignorant hockey fans.
Pigs.
And their whole life is rooting against the Rangers.
They are disease-ridden
slobs,
pigs. They are subhumans.
Worse than Philly fans?
Chlamydia-ridden, scabby, snotty, slobbering Just
Wow, it's an alliteration fest.
uneducated. Oh, disgusting. They are.
And me and Matt gotta live here.
Yeah.
that-
Like
I
Eddie,
gotta
you have
see
a
these-
point. You have a point. There is really no older Islander fan. They're
No.
all like under 40, maybe you would say.
they're
I don't know.
infirmed. They're infirmed.
They are a
They're in a-
lot younger.
They're in sanitariums.
I will see Ranger fans, you know, in their 70s wearing like a Ranger jacket.
Oh my
That's
God.
a winner, baby. That's a winner. Yeah, she really porked up after having that kid. Not that I should be. No, I like Gringra.
I mean, compared
least
to
we-
Shannon Hogan.
Yeah, I mean, really. So, yeah, there is a certain amount of disgust for them. I feel like they're just ignorant about hockey in general. It's just all the Rangers.
But
Now,
that's
I
all they
have-
care. That's all they care about is hating the the Islanders are secondary to the hatred for the Rangers. It's just their excuse.
Yes. I mean, I know a few Islander fans that just care about the Islanders and really care about the Rangers.
It's a
They'll go
rare
crazy.
breed.
Yes. Well, most of them are my age, and they remember the glory days, and you know, but they still. My friend Chris, nice guy. He's still afraid of me since my tirade of the. I invited him over for during the
great
cup.
Chris Galante.
Yes, he's a strange dude in himself. Out of hockey, but anyway, when Zelapukin scored that goal with what was it, 3.3 seconds?
Yeah.
I may have told this story before. I was holding a potato chip dish, and I just fucking threw it down like a bowl, crack, and he left. I never saw him again.
Never saw him again.
It's been 25 years.
He was like afraid. He was afraid of my Ranger rage, and actually, no, I've seen him before. But he just when I talked to him. About hockey, the Islanders. He just talks about the Islanders. He doesn't, doesn't go, "Oh, we beat the Rangers," like every other doof.
Well, that's like
you
my
know.
best friend. He's a Devil fan, even though he's from out here. Again, I don't have a lot of experience with Devil fans. He's the only Devil fan I know. But he's not like that. He'll talk about the Devils. He's not like one of these Ranger haters to where everything is, "Oh, you guys lost." Like, he's a rational one. Now, I don't know if all Devil fans are like that. Maybe
No,
they're
they're
just like,
too.
they're that bad.
They're terrible.
They're not as bad as Islander fans. I think I can reach them with reality. They know when their team is bad. Yeah.
All right, Matt, we got to get the Costa and get the Rock now. Rock's waiting, and we want to.
Are you guys going to go over the Ranger tax forms since tax day's tomorrow?
No, tax day's been pushed to May.
Oh, all right. Well,
May 15th.
you know, Costa's probably got the financial.
Certainly hope so,
forms.
because mine aren't done yet.
Costa's probably got the MSG 10K forms.
All right,
All
we'll
right.
talk to you later. Thanks, Matt.
All right, see you guys.
Take it easy. All right. Here he comes. What's up, Costa?
All right, Costa. Give it
There
to
was a
us.
lot of puck luck the two games with the Pens and the Islanders. A lot of puck luck. A lot of own goals. A lot of swing and misses. A lot of pings on the fucking on the goal post and the crossbar. There's a lot of puck luck.
I'll agree with that. I think last night's game, a lot of times they would break sticks, the Devils, or they'd misfire on one-timers. And, but you also got to give credit to the goalie. I mean, he stopped, I forget this guy's, the great Miles Wood, who is now apparently as good as Gretzky, according to Sam Rose, and stopped him twice. Yes, I agree. I would. The Rangers really didn't play a great game last night. What are you laughing at? Because what's in the
Wipes
background?
away. He's putting the wipes away.
So what do you want you to? He's here to talk.
I'm listening.
I know that they're gonna have some.
That's just a call. It's an experience.
It's
It's just the Costa experience.
All right. Well, I think we got to be happy. Do you think? Let me ask you both this. Do you think it's possible the Rangers could go 4 for 4 here, or am I just pipe dreaming?
They can go 4 for 4. Why not? Of course they can. Question is, will they? They can. So of course they can.
I mean, I think, but I'm sputtering here. But what I'm
Jared Steinbeckens.
now I forgot my complete train of thought.
4 out of 4. Will they win 4 out of 4?
Do you think this is the crucial point that they have to go 3 for 3 of the next 3 in order to make a real big playoff push? Well, this is the final time for them to ante up. Or do you think? Well, what do we got? 15 games left. I mean, we're out of time here.
They have to win every one of these games against the Devils. Have to. Boston still has 2 games at hand on them. And again, just to reiterate, do I think they're going to make the playoffs? No. Do I want them to? Of course I do. Of course I do.
Yeah, that's the way I feel.
If there's a party, I want to be invited.
Yeah.
Here we're gonna go with the tank, baby, tank.
No. That's done. There ain't no more tanking now. Now it's like, okay.
You got your chips. Now you got to win with them.
What?
So it's like the Rangers they've gotten their chips to play the game. Now they got to win.
Right.
And start winning a little bit more. But I never get it. Like, the playoffs are in the balance as a team. And I know there's another team out there trying to win too, but the Devils are dead in the water. They got nothing to play for.
Might as well tank.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, they're a young team and this, so they got to play for next. I don't buy that. It's over.
They're playing Spurler.
Do you really think they have motivation to beat the Rangers? Do you
Absolutely.
think that you do?
Absolutely. I absolutely think that. Sure, of course they do.
Both
You don't think they want to be the
Rangers.
You don't think they want to be the team that
them.
screws up the Rangers season? Of course they do.
Of course. Yep. No shit.
I don't know. I don't think that rivalry's that deep. Am I just am I so enthralled with the Rangers and Islanders rivalry that I don't see the Ranger Devil rivalry as big? I think it might be the case. I mean, they got a lot of young guys. They don't have history.
They need a guy to come in that knows how to win. That's from a winning culture. That's who they need.
I agree.
Not these Jack Johnsons, not these fucking Brendan Smiths, not these fucking like an Alec Martinez, that type of guy they need to bring in. Because he's a fucking winner and he came from a winning culture.
All right. Well, I don't think it's going to come from a defenseman because I don't think they have any room for any veteran.
Yeah, no room for any more defensemen.
Yeah, it's got to be a forward.
It's got to be a forward. Yeah.
Dustin Brown, get him in here.
Oh, now Brown Cow.
You want to bring Cal Clutterbuck in here?
Cloud motherfucker.
Cal Clusterfuck.
Speaking of that whole Cal Clutterbuck and that line, there was Matt Martin had a quote about the Rangers saying they have a very, very good team. And of course, everybody jumped on the fact that he is married to Boomer Esiason's daughter. That's why he was saying good things about the Rangers. What do you guys think about that? He's just sucking up to his father-in-law, rather.
I wouldn't do it. Just nothing. I got nothing for that team. Nothing but disgust.
So even if Matt Martin says something good about the Rangers, you're
fuck him.
All right. Let me ask this. This is the most important question I've ever asked Costa. You ready? All right. If you were insured that you would get laid at the prom, would you put an Islander jersey on?
Fuck no.
Wow.
That guy is a sorry.
Get the wipes. Get the wipes.
Oh God, I almost fell.
Come on, man.
I wish you could see. I wish you could see the look on Rock's face. He's waiting in the studio. I wish you could see the look on his face as he's watching what's going on here.
All right.
Rock's put a mask on. Rock's put a mask on just to watch this call. He's got an N95 on.
Oh my God, that's pathetic, man. Jesus Christ.
Wow. All right. Okay.
No chooch is worth that. Is that what Costa's saying?
There's no cooch worth that.
No chooch is worth that.
Maybe give her a little pearl necklace if you know what I mean. You know, that's
Yeah. I know. I thought you meant you were going to give her as a gift.
uh,
All right. Okay.
give it a cream rinse. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I
That
want
five
to see William
hole was big. That 5 hole was big.
All right, Costa. Anything else?
No,
We love you, buddy. Take care.
no
care,
homo, of
buddy.
course.
Yeah,
No
we'll see.
homo. He's got to get
I know he's so worried that I'm going to run away with him. I'm gonna come out right here on the show and profess my love for Costa. What's up, Rock? Good luck topping that.
How are you?
What's going on, guys? How are you? He is the biggest liar.
I know. I agree. I agree with it, man. I agree with you.
Wearing, if they could come after him,
That guy is the most
roll over
perverse
right
dude
there.
I know. And that's saying a lot.
Oh man, good times. I'm sorry I
is a
missed the
man-
beginning of the show.
This is a guy who said to me, I think it was live on the show or it was in person. He said that, what was that? His garden of dreams was one girl going him in the front and the other one going in the back.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. So I don't buy what he's saying there.
he's
put
definitely not
Don
helping the
around
Greek
the
stereotype. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. Yeah, he put a JG Peugeot jersey on.
Oh man, that's
He
great.
put the Goldie wig on.
Okay,
That
what's
is
your
great.
assessments? Give me your
Listen, I mean, as far as the trade deadline goes, kind of as expected. I'm sure you guys touched on it. I'm trying to catch up on the shows. It's been pretty hectic here. Pretty much as expected. I mean, I thought maybe they'd move out, another one of the veteran guys, and but I mean, listen, the team is what it is right now. I think the way the salary cap is, they're hamstrung in so many ways. A lot of teams were by all the movement and salaries being moved around. But I thought maybe they'd move out another forward. I feel like they have just a glutton of forwards right now. I thought maybe they'd move out somebody else, but I guess guys, listen. I guess they're rolling the dice. They're gonna. It's not. I guess it's not worth a 5th round pick. In the grand scheme of things, the team's playing well. Roll the dice, see if they can get some experience, and make these games meaningful down the stretch. I mean, the team's playing well, but I'll tell you, they need to play better than they played last night. I mean, it was.
Good,
I mean, it was their typical whatever reason is they don't get up against these bad teams. With the exception of I think a couple of games the beginning of March against the Devils. Devils games have been very boring. The Buffalo games have been really boring.
Yeah.
And they don't seem to get up against these horrible low-end teams. The only team they seem to really play well against this year is Philly. And Philly owned them last year.
Washington.
And Washington, thank you. But I mean, just from the bottom feeders in the division. But it's just, they definitely have to play better than they played the other night. And it's funny because I sent Valaketa a tweet during the game last night. I said, "Could you please send out the stats for missed nets?" So he tweeted me back. He sent me the link to where I could find it myself. He goes, "I'm kind of busy right now, but if you want to look it up yourself, you can send me the link back." So which I thought was funny. I said, "What? You don't know it by heart?"
What's he busy
And he wrote
doing?
back and he started laughing. Something you would think he'd know by heart, but they missed the net. I mean, there has to be a record how many times they missed the net. And it's everyone. It's a Trouba. I mean, Buchnevich. I keep saying I'm going to sit down one night and keep a tally of how many guys missed the net, who they are, from what part of the ice they are, just for my own sanity, because I just feel like they miss these golden opportunities and they're so pass happy. It's sickening. But it's
where were the Rangers as far as the missing the net?
I honestly I didn't look at it. I'm gonna try to do some research on it just for my own sanity. But when I'm bored, but I'm gonna I just thought it was funny that they just these prime spots they're in the middle of the ice and they're passing it to the side.
Yes,
And I just don't understand it. I just don't
They-
understand what
they-
their logic is. But at least
Yeah.
Kravtsov, I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed last night, the guy's shooting the puck.
he just shoots.
So if he wants to play, he's going to put up points. If he's going to be the only guy that's going to shoot, put him on the top two lines and bombs away. And where would we be without Colin Blackwell? That's another story.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I said that the other night. It's a sad state of affairs when you think to yourself, God, I hope Colin Blackwell gets on the ice soon so they score.
You know what though? I mean, listen. I mean, you got to give the guy credit. I mean, he came in here, nobody knew who he was. I remember when the Rangers had that abysmal offseason, and I'm looking at these guys, just Rooney and Blackwell, and the
Potato.
Yeah, well, I knew Potato, but just different guys. I mean, coming in off the scrap heap, and let's be honest, the three of them specifically, the three guys you just brought up, have played decent for them.
Yeah.
They have. I
They
mean,
fit in and they fit in perfectly. They slid in nicely.
Well, it almost seems like they signed Potato just to play him enough games so that they can expose him in the draft.
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
I mean, now you don't hear anything about him. He's played his games. He's qualified, and I think that's.
Well,
I
they
really
can
think
expose
that's one of the
D'Angelo
reasons.
now also because I don't think they were planning on when the season started when they did sign Potato. I don't think their plan was to expose D'Angelo, which now they're going to probably expose him.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if you guys touch on it, but people want to climb all over Lebo Hayek. I don't think he's played bad.
no.
am I wrong?
I think he's been pretty good.
About
They are
this.
so hell bent to make for this guy to fail to justify that McDonough trade.
Right.
It's sad. I mean, all right. You want to listen? I'm off the Brett Howden wagon. I'm done. I've seen enough. I've seen enough. I mean, he's not even playing center now, where you can even say, "Oh, he needs to win face. He can win face." So he's not even playing center. He's playing wing. One of the people on Twitter posted this really great video of his shift, and they said, "Just watch Howden." I'm going to try to find it, and I'm going to try to post it in the group. He was the best thing he did was get in somebody's way. I mean, he didn't do anything else. He didn't touch the puck. He was falling all over himself. He bumped into the defenseman. Then Brendan Smith takes a penalty because he gets in his way. I mean, it was an all. I mean, he's just terrible. And I know I'm kind of bouncing all over the place,
Oh, no,
but I haven't spoken to you guys in a while.
We've been talking about the Libor Hayek. The best thing you can do when you watch a game is you don't notice a guy, a defenseman.
Absolutely.
Now, and he's one of those guys I'm not going, Hayek's out there.
Right.
He's played. What do you want? I mean, he's not going to be a top 4 defenseman.
No.
But you know what? You don't need him to be a top 4 defenseman. You need him to give you bottom pair minutes, and he's doing his job.
Those five
and him and Smith were the goal scorers the other night.
I know, against the Islanders. Right.
Right.
And
they were the goal scorers.
hard.
They were the ones that tied the game.
Right. And they played that team hard. And I was disappointed they lost in overtime, but you know what? They played the team hard, and and maybe under different circumstances they would have won. But you know what? It's hard sweeping a series, as we've seen. I mean, how many times have we seen them come out, with the exception maybe of the Flyers, or even the first Flyer game they went to overtime with. But it's for some reason it seems like it's very hard to sweep a series. That
usually it's like dramatic
the team has their
turnaround.
number.
That's like a dramatic turnaround. Like you'll win 3-0, and the next game you'll lose 8-4. You're like, how does this work? It doesn't really jive. But going back to Hayek, I have no problems. You need those 5 and 6 guys that are just dependable.
Right.
They're not going to do anything, but they're not going to do anything to hurt you. And I think he's done plenty of. I can name maybe 3 times I yelled at him all season.
The one egregious thing he did was just 2 I can think off the top. But the one was against the Islanders, which was one of his first games back, where he passes up the middle. They wanted to lose 2-0.
Yes, that's one.
Casey Cizikas, and they were claiming they were crushing him for that Pittsburgh guy getting around him the other night. That no-name dancing Zorbo. I forgot what his name was. Started
Zorbo
with
the
Z.
Greek.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Whatever his name was. These Pittsburgh players, I mean, no matter who they bring up, they find guys that just crush us. And Teddy Bluger wasn't even in the lineup.
Year after year.
It's incredible. It really is
Year
incredible.
after year, they find these no-name guys.
Dogovins. One of my favorite.
Dogovins.
Dogovins.
Oh, they had Tom Kuhnackel for a while. I mean, these guys, they come out of the woodwork on that team, and it's incredible. And I don't. You look at that team's defense, and not to get on a Pittsburgh tangent, but you look at that Pittsburgh defense, and you take Letang, who's 35 years old, out of the equation. Brian Dumoulin, I mean, Marcus Pettis. I mean, guys, if they fell on you, you wouldn't know who they were.
Evan
And that
Rodriguez
team has
is
58
another one.
points.
Zahorna is the guy.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Radim Zahorna.
Yeah. 2 years.
But yeah, every year they have one or two guys that you never heard of them.
Right.
And they just seem to
and it makes you laugh because they never have draft picks, and they're always trading them away. So where are these players coming from?
Yeah, keep getting these guys like a Jared McCann and Russ turned into a really good player. I mean,
yeah.
I guess when you have Sidney Crosby, who is having another good year,
listen, guys, the day
Ovechkin
retire, I'm going to dance through the streets because I've seen them for 15 years, and I'm tired of both of them. The day those teams fall on their face, those two guys, I will be in my glory. And this is probably how the 80s fans, the early 80s fans felt about Bossy and Trottier. Because I've had enough of these two guys. I really have.
Bossy obliged us by retiring after 10 years, so it wasn't as long. But yeah.
The one thing I want to say, though, as far as the center ice position, which is they need a guy who can win a face-off. They're talking about bringing in a second-line center or a third-line center, or even bringing a guy in to play the fourth line. I don't care. They need a guy that can win a big face-off. I mean, how many times last night? Twice. Zibanejad loses a face-off in the defensive zone against whoever the Devils' center was, and Nico Hischier. I mean, I don't even know who the center was last night, but 2 defensive zone face-offs. He lost them clean both times.
Chris Kreider won a face-off.
I saw.
Remember he came in. I was like, well, okay, yeah.
I know won a face-off too. But I mean, how many times are these guys in these face-off circles? They're losing face-offs clean, and it's either resulting in goals, or if they're on a power play, the puck's they've already killed 15 seconds off the power play because it's at the other end of the ice.
Right. I said to Jen the other night, I said, it's funny how many times you see the Rangers center get chased from the dot, and then the winger comes in and wins the faceoff.
Right.
That happens a lot.
And it's funny because Hedl got kicked out last night, and Lafreniere came in and won the faceoff.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, listen, they're looking for a second line center. Listen, I like Ryan Strome. I think he's done a fine job for what he was brought in to do. But if they're looking to upgrade that, they've got to bring a guy in that can win a faceoff. They cannot bring in these 30, 40%
on
guys.
Their radar.
What's that?
That's got to be on their radar.
Has to be.
It's such a glaring problem.
It's gone on too long. I mean, listen, they've always had a hard time in the faceoff circle. But listen, Brad Richards was a very good faceoff guy. He did very well for them in 12, 13, 14. He was very good. Dubinsky was if I remember, I think he was a decent faceoff guy. I'm not sure about Brassardis. I know Stefan was kind of hit or miss, but they had Brian Boyle, they had Dominic Moore. Those guys can win faceoffs, and you need those guys. Even in '94, I mean, they signed Craig McTavish specifically for faceoffs and penalty killing, and he was a penalty killer and he was a fourth line guy. And honestly, this is what this team. They have the offensive talent. Now they need to start kind of filling in the little things that they're missing.
I feel like as a team they have chemistry. I really do. I really feel like this is the team. Like, yeah, there are going to be some guys we're going to lose, and there'll be some addition and subtraction, but primarily what they're playing with, I mean, is what they're going to be playing with for the next 5 years or so. I mean, if you think about it. So I feel good about that. The face-off problem has got to be addressed. There's no doubt about that. Where they're going to make the tweaks is going to be interesting because I think they're going to have to give up on a couple players.
They're going to have to. This is where it's going to get. I mean, Gordon's job was hard. Now it's really going to get hard because they have to figure out which guys they're going to be the cornerstones, the guys they build around, and the guys that they use to get them to that next level.
Right.
And we saw that in 2000 and in 2012 with Callahan and Dubinsky and Anisimov, and they had all those guys and they moved them all out and they brought in other guys, and they figured out who were the core pieces and who weren't. And I think this time it's even harder because they have even more in the cupboard than they've ever had. I mean, we've never seen this. I mean, in my lifetime as a Ranger fan, I've never seen this much high-end elite talent. I've never seen the Rangers have a high prospect pool of any
You could
kind.
have one guy maybe. Now you got like 4 or 5.
And a lot of guys we got lucky with. I mean, Lundqvist, was a late round pick. Carl
Adam
Hagelin was a
Fox.
late round pick. Derek Stepan was a second round pick. Tootin was a second round pick. Dubinsky was in the second round. Callahan was in the second or third round. I mean, these weren't first round picks. They bombed on their first round picks. Al Montoya, Bobby Sanguinetti, Korpikoski. If you want to go back with Chernevsky and Jeff Brown,
Anderson.
I mean, the list goes on and on. They've never had, up until recently, they've never had luck in the first round.
Right.
But now this is Gordon's
like how Adam Fox fell in their lap.
Right.
I mean, this could be one of the most, like, he's definitely a core player for the.
And I think Ryan Lindgren is, and I think Keandre Miller is. I think their top 4D is pretty much set, unless something unless Miller or one of these guys turns into Brady Shea his second year. That's the only thing I can say, because we all thought, and myself included, I thought Brady Shea was going to be a cornerstone piece after his rookie season. I mean, he was great for them in the playoffs in 2017. He had a great year. He showed such poise and was so confident, and then all of a sudden I don't know.
The wheels fell off.
The wheels fell off.
Right.
Exactly.
I think with Keandre Miller, just to go off of him, I've seen a lot of, like, consider him like a big player. He's a tall guy, and usually their first seasons they don't look very well. They don't look very good. I saw Chris Pronger in his first season. I swear to you, Rock, I thought this guy was a bust.
Huh?
I saw Chara in his first year. I said, look at this. I called him Chara.
I remember that one.
This guy, he was terrible. And then they adjust and they develop. And I tell you, this Keandre Miller to me I hate to use the word, but he's been a revelation. He really has. I mean,
he doesn't even play like a rookie.
No.
He's able to fix his mistakes when he makes them.
Last game. So when he hit that guy, I forgot who he hit on the
McLeod, I think. Was it McLeod?
Yeah.
He just
Get
shoved
out of
him
here.
like he was a fly.
He's like, get off me.
It's nice. And he has a great shot too.
Yeah.
He really was impressive. I mean, I watched him in the World Juniors, and obviously you really can't always tell things from that. He didn't look great, but I guess you know what, you can tell when a player, sometimes a player turns it up a little bit when the heat's on it, and that's the type of guys you want here. You want guys that aren't going to melt under the pressure, and we've seen too many guys do that, melt in New York. And that's why Panarin is a which, like, to coin what you just said, a revelation, because we've never had a free agent come in here and just completely live up to and almost exceed expectations.
I think he's exceeded expectations, because we all knew we're used to guys coming in here and busting out. I mean, they just bust like bad. Like, I don't know, every superstar we ever got other than Messier, it seemed like they come to New York, and a lot of other sports too, whether it be baseball, basketball.
Oh, baseball's probably the best example, especially if you're a Met fan.
Yeah, Jason Bay comes to the Mets.
Carlos Baerga,
Alomar,
Jeremy Burnett, Mo Vaughn. I mean,
just naming them all.
Yeah, Yankees have had their own too. I can't.
So that's why he's so phenomenal to have. He just gets it done, and I feel it. As he goes, the Rangers go. But you don't see him.
You're
on
not
the
winning
point.
without him.
Yeah, you don't see him on the point sheet. They usually don't win. He's got to be involved.
Their statistics are crazy when he doesn't score. I think they posted him one night. I think the Rangers have 2 wins.
Wow, annoying for
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's when he's not in the lineup.
Oh,
it's a different. Maybe not. It's definitely more than 2. I'm sorry. It's something really low though. I know that.
Yeah,
I want to leave you with this. Reijo Ruusalainen. I haven't heard the name in a long time. He was a little slightly before my time, but if you look at that guy's stats, and I looked him up because I'm like, they keep bringing up this guy, and I'm like, I've heard of him. It was slightly before my time. He had some sensational seasons with the Rangers. I don't think he scored less than 50 points.
And then I think the Devils played pretty well.
And I know he played for Edmonton twice.
I think he won a cup with them.
Actually, no, it was Edmonton. He went on and played.
I just want to believe that this guy. I think he only played 5 years for the Rangers, but I couldn't believe this guy's statistics. It was incredible.
Him and Mike Rogers.
He's another guy they just don't talk about enough.
6th-round draft pick, by the way. Rayo
He-
Ruotsalainen.
He was very small, and I remember Esposito had a total hard on in a bad way about him.
5'8".
He said that Ruotsalainen took too long of shifts, and he even said it on the air, "I'm going to time him tonight." Like what?
I don't know, if you're putting up
What's the point about
50 and 70 points a season, does it really matter how long he stays on the ice? As long as he's not.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
meanwhile-
plus minus, but
Meanwhile, Phil Esposito would skate down the other end of the ice.
Yeah,
because he
that's
didn't want to
what-
go near the bench, so he could take a longer shift.
Yeah,
He was the king of long
king
shifts.
of that.
Right.
yeah.
He'd
Well, he
be
knew his act, I
circling-
guess.
Huh?
Come on.
Too
I
funny.
think it was a kind of an anti-Euro thing at that time.
Yeah. I remember hearing something about that because I remember, I think it was when you guys had James Patrick on, he mentioned something that biased against Thomas Sandstrom. I think he had mentioned that back in the day. And it's weird because these guys, if you really sit back and think about it, those early 80s, there weren't really a lot. There were no Russians. And there were, mostly Finns and Swedes, and there weren't many of them either.
Right. Yeah, it's
So
true.
I guess, they took it as them trying to take their jobs. Now it's like
I don't remember. Somebody commented in the chat room about Sandstrom missing the net a lot. I don't remember that.
I don't
I
know. I know
remember
he
him
scored
being the
40
only guy who
goals.
scored.
Him and Podubny scored 40 goals. The two of them, I think, in one, or maybe Sandstrom at 38. But yeah, that's a good one.
I'm laughing at
They all
Joey
look bad that night.
Joe
I mean,
Biden's
that Pittsburgh
killing
game, that was whatever. It is what it is.
Oh, wait a minute. Andrew Conforti is saying Pat Hickey told me personally Espo did not like Hedberg and Nielsen.
Oh, we're gonna get Pat Hickey on the show.
We get Ulfie on. I'll do a midnight show. We'll talk to him in Sweden.
Yeah, right. He probably would be a very interesting interview.
Yeah, well, he does. It's funny because those early they had a lot of pride, and I will say that could rub. Like Ulf said that him and Anders were solely responsible for bringing the Ranger fans back to MSG, because after the Emil Francis era, and they changed the uniforms, obviously, and
Yeah.
if the franchise was in a sad state of affairs. I mean, they just couldn't win. They had the last gasp at the cup and they were rebuilding with,
John Ferguson.
John Ferguson and John D. Talbot in his sweatpants. And he feels that, and it's true that they did generate a lot of excitement that these guys were coming.
It was
from
a big
the
deal.
Yeah,
It was definitely a
WNBA
big
guys
deal when
scored
they came.
60, 70 goals over there. They're showing highlights. I'll never
Right.
forget it. They're showing highlights. I'm like, these guys are going to the Rangers. We're going to win the cup. We're going to win the cup. And, they certainly were good, but they weren't exactly like.
Again, that was a little bit before my time, but I do remember my father mentioning that, and also I don't know if you remember this old video cassette called "Tradition on Ice," and I remember they made a big deal.
Oh, really?
Of that
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. These have
on that about them coming over. Yeah,
I still have that videotape somewhere.
me too.
Yeah,
I don't
they
know
are.
where it is, but
In
there's
in
pajama
awesome
jerseys.
in those awesome uniforms. Love them.
wow.
Me and Jim are in the minority in liking those jerseys.
I love them. Oh,
I
look at
don't think they're terrible.
Oh,
I
don't
just
think they're
love the
terrible.
shield. I'm a big fan of the shield.
It's different, I mean, the classic Ranger jersey is nice, but it's nice to mix it up for a little bit.
What about the New York? The New York. A lot of people clamor for those.
Those are cool.
the ones they wore in the
I know
early
the hockey
80s.
car with Jan
Yeah.
Eriksson. He has
The
it
road
on.
jerseys, yeah, they
The
were
roads
great.
that say New York on it.
They were great.
Yeah.
I wish they. I wish they'd wear those on the road. If they could go back to wearing white at home and then wear those blue ones on the road, that would be great.
Yeah. I
When
know.
when did they go back to wearing blues at home? You know what year that was? Was that the year after the lockout?
Was it before? I was going to say it was around the lockout, wasn't it?
I think so. No, because I know the year before the lockout because Messier played at home. That was his last game, and he had a blue jersey on.
Right.
So it was probably even before that. So it was before the lockout, unless for whatever reason they just wore their dark jerseys that night. But Messier's final game, and I think Gretzky did too. Didn't Gretzky have his blue jersey on final game also?
He might have. Yeah.
So then that's 90. That's even earlier. So
99.
I don't even know when they did that. It might have just been a coincidence. Maybe they did it as a favor. I don't know, but
They used to, they used to wear the blues at home on like tradition nights.
yeah.
And then they used to remember they would do a thing called reverse jersey night.
Yes.
And they'd wear their road jerseys at home.
Yeah. As
I don't
far
know,
back as I can remember, and since I've been in
conflicting
season
information in the chat room. Some say
Tweet-
it's after the lockout. Some say it's 2005.
Tweet Valaket that they should go
they
back to those New York
definitely
jerseys.
Messier definitely wore his
It was the
blue jersey the night he retired. His last game when he was bowing on the ice. I remember that night as if it was yesterday. So it could have just been like what you said, one of those reverse nights or whatever. Blue
Since
shirt
the
off your back, maybe that's why.
Since the 2003-04 season, NHL teams typically wear the dark color at home and white for road games. That's according to Wikipedia.
Okay. Like you said, it might have been because maybe the blue shirt off your back. Maybe that's why they wore the Blues at home that game.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but so
How are they going to do that now this year with masks and social distancing?
I don't know, but they're doing
listen,
it.
I haven't been to a game.
They are.
Yet.
They're going to do it.
Yeah, they're
I'm,
taking
They're going to throw the
nominees.
jersey to the.
I don't know.
Yeah, who knows what they're going to do? I mean, they've totally.
Imagine
totally
they're going to
taken
hand
that
you a
out of it.
sweaty jersey with
You
what
know
everybody's
what?
going to wear.
I said to my season ticket rep, I go, listen, I've been a season ticket holder for almost 18 years. I've never been. They invite me to these stupid Zoom calls with these alumni guys. I don't want to do that. Like, get me on the ice. Let me take a picture on the ice. Get me into like a meet and greet with some of the current players.
Why you don't
Get
want
me
to
a
rap
jersey
with
of one of the
Brian
guys. Get me a stick. I mean, I don't want these Zoom calls.
You don't want to have a Zoom call with Vaclav
Ron
Natomansky?
Yeah,
Mullen?
Adam Hall.
Adam Hall.
Adam Hall and
Aaron
Vitaly
Voros.
Buchnevich and whatever random guy that
Jamie Ram?
yeah. Jamie Pusher.
Vitaly, what was the goalie? Vitaly
Vitaly
Veremniev?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Milan Hanalichka. I mean, you just
Milan
want every goalie that ever Johan Holmquist and
Igor
J.F.
Yulanov.
and Guy Bear and these random
All the bad brothers, Fedorov and Pronger.
John
Those other
Pronger.
Dopey brothers from the
And Eric
90s.
Lacroix, Pierre Lacroix' son. I mean,
Lee Fallerdo.
you know what's funny though? It's like remember every year. I mean, especially when there was no salary cap, the Rangers always brought in those type of guys. Whether it was Tim Sweeney or Brent Fedek or Jeff Finley, they just bring in these random guys.
Troy Loney.
Yeah, Troy Loney. They had Nathan
Another guy.
Lafayette. I mean, I don't know.
Yes.
It's the good old days, right?
Stan
Good old days.
Stan Netcash.
Dan Netzcash, right? That's a good one. That's a good one. He actually had a decent career after he left the Rangers.
Yeah, he was decent, that guy.
Marcel
They traded
Hossa. There's
Jason
another.
Doig for him.
There's another bad
Jason
brother.
Doig.
Marcel Hossa, yeah.
Marcel Hossa.
I was
Jason-
thinking. I forgot the Rangers had Brad Ismister. I was watching something, and
Brad
he played
Ismister?
on the top line in the playoffs for them one year.
Yeah, the twisted
like-
wrister from Brad Isbister.
It's incredible. It's incredible. So
Corey
this Colin
Cross.
Blackwell thing is it's not uncommon that this happens.
These guys are coming out with some
It's
names.
definitely not uncommon.
That the one Dr. Chris is talking, Pat Flatley, that annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Here's
Rock
a
on a
guy.
Zoom call with Maxim Kondrachiev. There's a good one for you.
Pat Flatley, who ended basically Barry Beck's career, another unheralded Ranger, Barry Beck, by the way. For my generation,
agree.
he was like our Brad Park, although he didn't put up the stats like that. He was a captain. He'd fight no matter what. He'd fight if he wasn't even on the ice. He jumped the bench to fight somebody. And Pat Flatley ended his career with a check. And then the Rangers go get him. Don't they have any sense of fucking history?
They don't care because they did the same thing with Donald Bashir when he took Blair Betts out.
Yeah.
And that was the 1 year. I don't know if you guys remember. That was the 1 year they didn't introduce the players individually. That was the 1 year they said we're going to introduce because they didn't want Bashir to be booed because they knew he was going to get booed that night. They knew he was going to get booed that night. And someone posted Kerry Wilson. I like Kerry Wilson. I thought he had a good 2 years with the Rangers. If you look at his points,
He was a nice guy.
he had a good career for them.
His
My
son-
unheralded Ranger for me.
When can we
personally,
get
was James Patrick.
guests?
No, go
James
ahead.
Patrick was one of the most underrated Rangers. If you look back at
Very
the stats,
disliked by Ranger fans.
he's 12th all time in points. He was. I don't know if that's changed, but at one point he was 12th all time in points.
I
And
don't
you're
know
talking
what
about a
the
guy
knock
that
was against him that Ranger fans just did not take to him 100%.
And isn't it funny that back then the Ranger fans used to get all over they still do with the defensemen, but they used to get over like the top guys, the better players. Now they're so stressed out about the fourth line center and the seventh defenseman.
Yeah, it's a lot of micromanaging.
It makes me laugh. Meanwhile, guys got like Brady Shea got a pass for 2 years and nobody cared up until the end of last season.
Right.
It's
just
just
amazing.
some guys. I don't know what it is.
It is. It's some guys like I said, Brett Howden and Lebo Hayek never had a chance. They never had a chance. And if Ryan Lindgren didn't have scars and blood all over his face the way he does, he wouldn't have a chance either.
Yep.
They just don't give guys any chances. It's the way it is. They try to justify trades. It's the way it goes.
Yeah.
But I'll let you guys go.
All right, Rock.
Pleasure as always.
For chatting, man.
Thanks.
Thanks,
I'll talk
Rock.
to you guys soon, all right?
Take care.
Later.
See ya. All right. Good show.
Good show, my friend. My shirt is falling apart here. Very shirt aware today. Yeah, good show. Great show. A lot of input, a lot of output. Jan Eriksson, I'll go with you, Mario. He was in his time. Just annoyed me. They would be like, "Oh, Jan Eriksson is shadowing Mario Lemieux tonight." And he went up with 5 goals. Let's shadow Mario Lemieux.
All right. Thank you to everybody for being here tonight. We appreciate it.
Yes.
Fun show.
Love you guys showing up, man. The input was fantastic.
And Eddie, what do you say? We'll come back Monday night
Monday Night Hockey.
after this Devils this run of games against the Devils is over. Rangers have 2 matinees this weekend, which we all just love so much.
Cool. I'm ready
All
to
right.
do it.
All right, we'll see you guys Monday night. Thanks for being here. Eddie, always a pleasure. See you. Good night, everybody.
Let's win it, baby. Let's go, Rangers. 3 in a row.